blessed and joyous Sunday to you guys. And I'm really appreciative of you being here. You could be somewhere else, but you decided to stay here with me, and I'm really appreciative of it. As always, we're going to start this off right. As always, give honor and praise to God, for He is the sole provider of your life. Psalms 32:7 reads, "You are a hiding place for me. You preserve me from trouble. You surround me with shouts of deliverance." Selah. All right, so look, we're going to check this out. Let me show you something. All right, so you see this tire? I'm explaining to you what happened. Let me get over here a little bit so I can show you. So Friday, I worked on my wife's car and I replaced her in a tie rod. Just so you know, anything you do regarding your steering or car handling, anything like that, you need to, once you do the repairs, you have to get in alignment to put everything back to normal. So I know that already. I've been doing this for a little while, and I've done tie rods and things like that. So like I said, I do know this already. So that was Friday. Like I said, we started doing the work on it, but it turned out that I needed another tool, which I didn't have. So I said, okay, let me run over to AutoZone to go pick it up. It turns out that they were closed. They actually just closed. So the repair had to carry over until Saturday. I said, all right, you know what? That's fine. I'll just get up. I'll jump up early in the morning and go over there. Fast forward, I did that. Here's Saturday. Saturday came around and I went and I got the part and I worked on it. I actually fixed the car and I put everything back together. And it's something I forgot to mention to you guys. So prior to that, Mike and I had already made plans to go to a football game in Dallas. Now, we live in Houston, and the equivalent as far as for driving is roughly 4 hours of driving, maybe 280 miles. So it was a pretty decent hike to get there. Game started at 3 o'clock. We'd have to, in order not to miss kickoff, we'd have to leave here no later than 11. So he said, okay, we'll do that. But we wanted to leave a little earlier. So he said, okay, we'll get out of here. We'll start rolling at about 10 o'clock, which will give us an hour leeway in case something happens. We had already decided to do that. And being that I had worked on the wife's car, said, all right, well, I'll take that. I'll take her car and I'll test it out. I already know what you're thinking. I already know. And I know better. I do. But I said, you know what? I did test drive it. Not very far, but I did test drive it. And it didn't make the noises that we previously had. So I said, okay, it's working. So let's jump in the car and go. Now we're going to fast forward. Fast forward to, we had made this trip from Houston to Dallas, and it took a little longer than expected. And that's because we did hit some traffic, and we did stop once or twice. So we finally got there. We actually were sitting there watching the games. Games were pretty good. It was the UIL state championship, and in Texas, football is big. So we had a good time. We said, okay, game was over. Well, let's grab something to eat, and then we'll hit the highway and go home. We stopped and grabbed something to eat. Again, car's running fine, no problems. Well, actually, you know what? Let me not even say there's no problems. The steering is off, but as I started again yesterday, this morning, I test drove it, and I already saw what the problem was, and I knew how to correct it, so I'd feel comfortable driving it. So that was the only issue. Had no issues with braking, acceleration, nothing like that. No noise, nothing like that. Because I was taught old school. So every now and then I'll turn the radio off and let the car talk to me. So I did that. And again, no problems, no noises, no nothing. So we're driving and we got something to eat and we get back in the car and we're going home. Now, again, I was on the road maybe 3-4 hours. I'm sorry, excuse me. Yeah, like 3-4 hours. We get exactly the very last exit to where we have to get off to go home, and I hear a pop, and then I noticed that as I'm driving, it's starting to feel sluggish, like something's dragging, and I'm like, okay, that can't be good. Maybe there was something stuck in there that, let me get off the highway and pull over and see exactly what it is. But I do notice that as I'm getting off the highway, I'm going straight and I'm starting to lean a little. I said, all right, let me look down. Sure enough, I looked down at the pressure gauge on my dashboard, and my front left tire, the same area where I fixed the tie rods, I replaced the tie rods. And I know, you ain't gotta say it, I already know. So I said, okay, I knew what that was. But again, I was calm, cool. I didn't get upset because, like I said, I've been in situations worse than this, and God has brought me out of it. So I already knew. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. There's really no traffic out there, so that's a blessing. And then as soon as you got off the exit, there's a strip mall where Kroger's is and a few other stores, and it was open. So I said, okay, cool, I'll pull in there. Pulled in, took a look. Tire is as you can see in the picture, the tire is shredded. So I said, all right. I already knew that it was going to be a long journey, so I packed like my jack and tools just in case something like this was to happen. Not thinking that it really would happen, but just in case it did happen. So yeah. So I pull everything out and I'm looking and I'm going, oh my goodness. There's no spare tire in the car. Since we've owned the car, I've never had to look for it. So I said, okay, I don't think it came with one. So I looked at Mike, said, all right, man, look, we have to pack all this stuff in. We got to drive slowly and kind of limp back to the house. He was like, all right, cool, we'll just do it. So we packed everything up and we made it home and we made it there safely. I got up this morning and I took a look at it. Well, I'm sorry, excuse me. So my wife, she met me at the front door. And I backed the car into the garage, and Mike and my wife went inside. I just sat there for a little while, and all I could do was just praise him and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And honestly, if I ever felt like, ever in my life, like he did not, or he just might have forgot about me, yesterday was a prime reason why I will never, ever feel that way. Listen, so many things could have happened. So many things could have gone wrong. And it just didn't. It just didn't. He gave us safety. He gave us shelter. And I say shelter because the car didn't fall completely apart. We could still drive the car. Yeah, it limped, but we could still move around in the car. So he gave us shelter. He gave us peace of mind. So Mike and I didn't start getting flustered or anything like that. We knew exactly what to do and stay calm about it, because if you're calm, you can think, and that'll get you out of half of the things that you feel that you can't get out of. If you stay calm, take a deep breath, you can work yourself out of it. So I know it was a little lengthy, guys, and I'm sorry about that, but I just had to tell you, it was an experience. But I got it's right up there with one of the experiences that I will never forget. I will never forget. Nothing tragic happened or anything like that. It's just that I knew better. I knew better than to ride like that. I've been working on cars for years, but in my haste, in such a rush, I was like, okay, well, I could just get the alignment done today after church, not realizing that, all right, man, you got to get this done now, because it's not aligned and everything is off-centered. So if it's off-centered, as you can see, you look at the tire, it's shredded. That's because there's no balance to it. But hey, listen, thanks again. I know this was kind of long, but thank you for joining me. Hey, just tell a friend. We're trying to build up our relationships with you guys. and just look out for the next conversation. Until then, peace.